Hi guys, I'm Nikki from Gracie's House. I'm a couture creator for Paint Couture, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram today, and we're going to be working on this screen. So it's quite bold colours we're looking at. As you come online, just say hello and tell me where you're watching from. I'll do my very best to catch up with all the comments. I'm not sure if there's going to be, if Paint Couture, I think we've got some issues with people having other commitments today, so I will do my very, very best to answer comments. And I can see people joining me on Instagram, and I can see Facebook as well, so that's all lovely. Like I said, I'm going to pop a comment in Facebook just because sometimes that helps me. Joan, I can see you've popped on. Guys, hi. Jackie, lovely, new to the group. So new to Paint Couture, have you used Paint Couture before? Hi Sisterhood Furniture, hi guys. So I've got a 3-panel room divider or screen, however you like to call it. Hi Joan. And I've got one that I haven't painted at all yet. Hi Sue, because it had some scratches on, so I filled those and I've let it dry, sanded it back. Good morning Dee. Hi everybody. Hi Heather. So you know, I thought I'd go for the first coat on this section here, and then on these two I've already done my base coat. I've done a very, very rough blend, you can probably see, but we're looking at two very, very different colours here. So we're going to do that experimentation that you all seem to love. And we're going to try and do, you know me, I like a cloudy sort of moody blend. So that's what I'm going to be looking at doing here and here. There is extra pieces, there is other things going on these, but I don't know how many of you seen. Maybe there might be some exciting redesign with Prima products coming out with a certain CC restyled, remixed kind of vibe going on. So this is the basis for something exciting there. Hi Erin. So I'm gonna just get on with it, and I'm going to start with Firelight, which is the orange that I've got on the top. Nicola, you've caught me live. You've normally got to replay. Lovely, excellent. And we've got a few people joining us. We're just starting to grow on Instagram live wise, because we haven't really done any lives. I've done one or two. Erin, I know, teasing you with Cece's line. That's it. I can't tease you anymore. But you've seen the stuff coming out. You've seen videos and you've seen the teasers. So this is what we're going to be working on here. So this is, as I said, this is the Firelight. So it is. I mean, look how vibrant the orange is. Awesome. I'm just going to drag a stool in to pop my paint on, so I haven't got to keep bending down for it, but I am going to stand. Got something stuck in my paint. I think I had some fluff stuck in my paint there. I'm going to stand to start top, so I'm just going to get it on. For the top piece, obviously we don't have to worry about the blend, so I just want to get the paint on. And I'm kind of I mean, do you think it could look sort of a bit sunsetty maybe? You know, like a real dark and moody, when the sun's really getting low and you've got the darker colours. That's kind of in my head. That's what I want it to sort of look like. But I'll just be happy if we get a lovely blend. And there's probably going to be some metallics going on, but I probably can't really do that with you guys watching. It's too secret. So as I said, this has just had one rough base coat of the colour. So two's giving me really that total coverage. The first coat was pretty well covered. It's just you know, that second coat kind of fills in any little gaps that you might have from the first time round. Okay. So I'm using my favourite at the moment, the oval, the Blue Ice oval, which is 1.5 inch oval. So it gets a really nice amount of paint on quickly. Just want to do that over that edge. And let's get some red on. So the next colour, I've only got one of those ovals, so I'm back to my good old faithful Star Meister as well. So I have Russian red, is my red that I'm using. I'm going to turn the light down ever so slightly because it's quite flary. There we go, you can see it better now, the Russian red. The Instagram, it was flaring a little bit. So I'm going to get my red on and then we're going to kind of play with the blending in the middle. So I'm just going to do one section at a time because we don't want to have too much going on to deal with. And what I can do is I can work on the blend and then I can fill in the rest later. So work with fluff there. Work with what you have and work in smallish sections so that you haven't got to worry about a massive section. It doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to grab a clean dry brush to do the blending section with. I'm just going to get a bit more paint on for the orange. And I don't mind if I get a bit, you know, if some of that red moves up into the orange, I don't mind. I'm not too fussed there. If you've got any questions as I'm going along, you, as always, I will do my best to answer those for you. So I'm using I like to do like a round motion to give me that kind of moody, cloudy looking blend. And I'm just using a cloth to take off any excess so that I'm not just moving around really, really wet paint. You want your blending brush, you want to be drier. Fluff. Still got a bit of fluff, there we go. Okay. Still got a bit of fluff. It's moving around, my bit of fluff. I think it's a little... I will get that later, that's annoying me. Okay. So I'm not sure how well that's, I might just have a little, I'm just thinking that the light is actually flaring exactly where I'm doing my blend, which is not going to help for you guys to see. Red. Just going to keep my red going down. It's almost like working on a big canvas, this one. And I didn't want to just kind of go, I know we were talking about sunsets, but I didn't really want to just go horizontal and it be kind of blocky colour that way. So I'm doing this more of a diagonal. So, you know, it's the kind of essence of a dark and moody sunset, but perhaps not the horizontal horizon type situation that you would expect. So I'm back to using my blending brush and I'm just doing, as I said, I'm just doing those circular motions just to give it a kind of cloudy, you almost don't really see where the blend happens. And that's, I don't want it to be completely, I want to be able to see a transition. I just want, you know, like imagine those rolling clouds and the beautiful colours in them. That's, especially when we get down here, it will probably be more noticeable. So I'm just switching between my dry blending brush and then my two colours. So I'm just adding the red, popping a bit more orange on. Because your paint does need, you do need to have paint that's not dry to be able to blend. So we're just switching between adding orange, red, and then switching back to the blending brush. And you see how I'm doing those little sections, but we're moving on quite quickly. It is easier. If you've never done blending before, I'm just going to have a check to see if there's any questions. Late to the party, Melanie. Loving how bright it looks. Good, good. I'm loving that. Okay, cool. So, I can't remember where I was mid-sentence. It's gone. It's gone out of my head. Just make sure you keep on getting your blending brush dry. It will help. I remember what I was saying now. So it also is helpful because we've got two colours that are relatively similar here. The blending is much easier. So if you haven't blended before and you're interested in giving it a go, start off with two colours that are similar. It will help you. The whole thing will be an easier process if you work with similar colours. It's going to be much more difficult here, and we also have to be careful that this isn't going to look muddy and just dirty. So these are probably the most extreme colour changes I've blended before, and I don't want it to look too dirty, but we're going to give it a go. So at the moment that is looking, I quite like that. Oh, I think this brush is shedding, or is that the same one from before? So I'm really just kind of going over a bit gently, and then I'm just going to go over in an up and down motion just to flatten out any texture that might be there. But almost like a laying off very, very, very lightly over the top. And it's almost not noticeable. Can you see the difference? I know this is wet, but if you can see the difference here, where we did a very, it's not a solid line, but it's very definite. That's orange, that's red. With this one, once this dries off, there's a much more subtle change through those colours. Okay, which one's my red brush? That one. I'm just going to go and get my Midnight Blue. So this is the blue. If you've ever used Midnight Blue, it's confusing because in the pot it doesn't look navy blue. It looks quite bright. Can you see? It dries to this lovely dark navy. So if you have used, I'm running low on Midnight Blue as well. Did I add the extender when you're blending? I don't think we have the extender here in the UK yet. Erin, you tease. So no is the answer to that. So no, this is just paint straight out of the pot. Nothing fancy, no water. But as I said, we're working in small sections, so that, can you see the difference? See how bright it goes on? I don't know if you can see that, but it's a lot brighter until it dries. The first time I used it, I put it on and thought, oh no, that's not that it's not a nice blue, but it's not what I wanted. And walked away, left it to dry, and it just amazing. Dries so deepens. Okay. So I have to be very careful, there we go, I've done it, not to pull up any blue into my red here. I don't want this bit muddied with the blue, so I'm working in more definite downward motions as I get closer to the blue there. As I said, this is going to be the trickiest section to do because these are such different colours. And I'm going to get another brush to blend with. I'm going to get the bigger one. I'm just checking there's no questions. Okay, I think we're all good. Okay, so I'm just going to get on and see how we can do here. Get a little bit more blue in there. I'm really, really pleased how this is looking. It's really tricky because the light is reflecting all over the place. As I said, it's tricky because I don't want it to look too muddy through there, but they're such different colours. I need to... I've got a couple of spots there where the paint's lifting slightly, which is probably down to me not cleaning it off properly. Esther, you're liking the blending? Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with that. We'll work on this section and then we'll do some first coat so you can see how the first coat works. Hi, Patricia. And yeah, you see, I don't know if you can see this. There's a tiny patch here where I think I've either missed a bit on the original base coat, or I didn't, it's my prep, probably a little bit of that didn't quite pull through. So it's never going to be a seamless transition between red and navy blue, is it? It's never going to be that case. But again, I'm looking for that cloudy kind of quality. So I quite like where we're going there. I think I'm going to have to do a little bit more work once that's dried. As I said, because we've got a bit that's a bit of white that's shining through from the original paint job. Red. Yeah, it's kind of like working on a big canvas here. Very strange. Yeah, the key here for these two colours is to really make sure that the blending brush is dry. So whichever brush you use a separate brush to blend and try and keep it as dry as possible. And I quite like that this is going to maybe go up a little bit and then come kind of maybe sharply down. We'll work on that. Hope you can all see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's getting there. This section here may need a second, like a third coat, just to finesse completely. But again, it's simply because there's such bold colours going up against each other. And there's going to be all sorts going on over the top. So it's a great experimental piece for doing these blends, because there's going to be lots going on over the top. If it's not perfect, it probably isn't going to matter too much. So that's the other thing to remember. If you're going for a, I need to put some more in. If you're going for, you know, if you're covering with, oh, I keep getting blue in my red brush. If you're going with transfers, or if you're adding a stencil, you know, you've got a little bit of wiggle room for this not to be absolutely perfect. I still want it perfect, and you will want it perfect, but you've just got that little bit of wiggle room. And of course the other thing is, it looks a bit murkier because it's all still drying. You know, you need to, especially if you've never blended before, you just need to experiment. And sometimes if you're not familiar with how it looks in its wet stage before it dries, just leave it when you're done. Don't keep messing with it too much. And you know, walk away, come back. You can always, it's paint. You can keep experimenting, keep painting. You can do it again. A little bit more blue down there, fill in that gap. But I quite like it. I mean, it's a little bit brown, but I'm mixing blue and red, so it's going to be a bit dirty and a bit grungy. There's never, you know, you're never going to get away from that when you're mixing those kind of colours together. But I quite like that, it's almost giving like a shadowy vignette feel as well. Okay, let's get some, finish off with the rest of that blue. Down on the bottom, make sure I don't fall off my staging floor. So can you see over here where it's already darkening down from the drying? And of course the great thing is with Paint Couture, you know, it can look like you've got texture when you lay it on, and by the time you come back and it's dry, its self-leveling properties are just phenomenal. Even to the point where I've tried creating texture, again, just, you know, doing experimentation, trying to create texture without an additive, and as it's drying, it's self-leveling, and you can see a little bit, but you can't feel it. It's really, really good for doing a clean finish. So if anyone's familiar with other, more of a mineral type paint rather than chalk paint, it's got that similar feel. Very, very easy to produce a clean finish. Okay, so I'm going to leave that now because I don't want to mess too much and start lifting the paint because it's too wet. I don't want to overwork it. So that you can get to a point where you start overworking the paint as well, and it'll where you're adding more wet paint, it'll start pulling previous paint off. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to leave that section now. I'm going to put my first coat on there, and then we'll do our blend on these sections. But let's show you getting that first section on. So there's going to be a lot of orange here because of the way we're moving across. I may end up adding something else up on that top corner as we're because we're going that way. I might add a fourth colour up there. Not sure yet. Haven't decided. But it's so vibrant, this orange, it's fantastic. Don't forget you can ask me questions, I will try and catch them. Oh, hang on, let's see what we've got there. Oh, hi Deb, watching, good tips, good, thank you. So this is where my orange and red met, so I'm going to take my orange down to about there. And yellow, Melanie, yes, I'm feeling that it could be a yellow. The question is, do I go lemon peel? Lemon peel, I think, could be gorgeous. Or is it Spanish sunrise? I think lemon peel is screaming out for. I think the Spanish one might be a bit too subtle. I think this is all about the bold. So let's see how far I want to take that down. The blue's coming back up. I might tail that off here. Sure. Just sort of figuring it out as I go along, really. Lemon, most definitely. Yes, I agree. Esther, am I putting a transfer on it afterwards? Oh, cheeky question. Yes, there's going to be all sorts going on this, but that's the secret bit that I can't show you, I'm afraid. So I'm not going to be putting a transfer on it today. But yes, it's going to have, I would say there'll probably be stenciling involved as well. Yeah, of course, Erin, yes, of course, if it's CC stuff, it's got to be bold. There's no other way. So yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to go with it. I think lemon peel. I haven't got it down in the workshop at the moment, so I won't be adding it now. But when you do finally see how it turns out, I think there will probably be some yellow involved. So this is where I do a rough blend. Oh, I've missed a bit of orange at the top, we'll do that in a sec. This is where I do a rough blend. So I've said to you before, when I do a base coat, I don't do two colours butted up against each other, because I feel like you're fighting against that line, especially if you've got, you know, the blue and the red, you've got a really solid line. So I prefer to do a really rough blend, to kind of plan out where I want that blend to happen. And so you can see, you know, this is what we've got going on here. So it's just a real rough transition, so that you're not fighting against a solid line when you do come to do your final pretty blend. Okay, go a bit further down with the red, I think. Tail it off down there. And let's just finish the orange. I was too busy talking and didn't finish the top. You won't tell anyone about the transfer, Melanie. Shh, secret. So as you can see, the coverage is awesome. So first coat, the coverage is fantastic. And this one you can see is starting to dry out now. So you can see this blend is drying out. So that, again, for me, I love that cloudy moodiness. Right, let's get the blue on, down that bottom. The secret transfer will be gorgeous. Laurie, you guys, your mind's going to be blown when you start seeing these new products coming out. You are. I'm sure you've seen the little teaser videos. No, that's red. I don't need red. I need blue. Nearly. That was almost a disaster. Okay, I'm just, every now and then, if I stare strangely at the screen, it's just to make sure I haven't missed any comments. So how's everyone's week going so far? How are you getting on? So we're Thursday, aren't we, today? Apologies for anyone who thought this was cancelled. It was cancelled. I was going to have some, we were going to be away. It didn't happen. So, Melanie, Phoenix in Flames would be awesome. Oh, wow. That kind of immediately made me think of Harry Potter. Yeah. Laurie. Have you seen them? You've put they're all beautifully CC. Are you a retailer, Laurie? I can't remember. I should know this, shouldn't I? I feel I should know this. I think my doorbell's just gone because my dogs are barking, but I've got everything switched off on my phone, so who knows. The great thing about this screen is I intend to do something completely different on the back. Very different on the back. So that I can use it for two different sets of like staging, or it's probably going to be a staging prop, really. I thought it would be a good addition so that I could extend my staging wall. Laurie, yes, do you know what? I thought so. I thought you must be. Yeah, so originally bought for staging, and then some new things were coming my way, so I thought, I think they will work really well. The other side's a bit prettier and has kind of framed mouldings on, which didn't really work for what I have in mind here. So this is how. So we're just getting that rough. So you see where I've just gone up a little bit, and then I'm going to taper it down. Taper it down. Taper. So we'll crack on with the blending, the final blending coat over here. Let's just see. Ruth, great. I sold 2 pieces and got commissioned to do 2 more. Happy days. Oh, well done. Isn't it the best feeling ever? April, towards the end of April, was quite quiet for me. I had some sales early on, but they were biggish, so they kind of covered the month for me, if you know what I mean. And then, but everyone's going to the pub now. The pubs are open. Everyone's going to the pub. And all the normal shops, they can go clothes shopping, so that's what they're doing. But I've sold 2 things in 2 days this month already, so yeah, it's good, isn't it? It does give you a buzz. So we're just going to crack on, do the same on here as we've done over here. So we're back to Firelight, which is this beautiful vibrant orange. I could really see this working on like a mid-century piece with black or wood tones even, and navy. Orange and navy I always think are very mid-century together. Yeah, Phoenix transfer, that would be awesome. Bonus points if you can remember the name of the Phoenix in Harry Potter. Who can remember it? I can't. As soon as someone says it, I'll go, oh yeah, that's right. But I can't remember off the top of my head now. So this is Russian red, as we did before. And I'm going to work in the sections, blending the orange and the red together before I work all the way down to the blue as well. So I need to get my red and orange blending brush out again. Just a spot there. And you know, that's it. That's as simple as we go there. Come on, give us a hint. No hints. Fawkes, Francie. Fawkes, like, is that like Guy Fawkes? Is that the thinking behind it? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well done. Yeah, happy with that. Straight away, that's gone on really nicely. The blender's happened nicely. These 2 colours are very, very easy to blend together. So is anyone out there tried blending with Paint Couture, wants to try blending? Don't know if you spelt it right. Francie, doesn't matter. I knew what you meant. That's the main thing. Do you want to try blending? Are you happy doing one colour type finishes, or you know, how's your experimentation going? You see, I've constantly got the rag in my hand just to get that off, get that wetness off. And you can bring some more red up through if you want. It's just having a play. This is almost like one big giant test board, really. And I'm just going to run my brush and do that like I did before, just almost like a laying off, so that I've not got too much texture going on. I'm just going to stand back and have a look. Yeah, quite like that. reminds you of Ayers Rock. Oh yes, there you go. That dark and moody, so it's a sunrise, is it, rather than a sunset? Yeah, you're probably right. Lovely. So there's some links in the post description, a retailer link so that you can find a retailer if you haven't already hooked up with one, and some details for UK retailers as well, because they're on 2 different places you need to look if you haven't already. Hi Wendy. Ruth, finally getting the hang of it. Play and practice. It's all about having a practice. Absolutely. But can you see now this section's dry, this middle section, we've got a little bit, that's wet. You can see that's reflecting a little bit, so that's the wet base here. But you can see it's very subtle and cloudy. It's all the way, I always say it's a cloudy blend. Do you know what? I might even put some moulds on it. This might have moulds on it too. That would be fun. Get my stool out the way for a minute. Just need to take a step back. Yeah, I think that's okay. I'm going to get my stool back and I'm going to work on that blue, the blue and red section. I'm going to try and do it this side, but I am right-handed, so we'll see how we get on. I already can tell it's not going to work. I'm going to have to go right over here. Wendy, blending has never been your strong thing, except with the metallic line. Oh yeah, do you know what? It is easy to blend, really easy to blend the metallics actually. Yeah, but also it's not for everybody. That style isn't for everybody. So if blending just isn't your thing, that doesn't matter either. It's, you know, you don't have to do a blend. If clean one colour finishes is your thing, but beautiful and sleek, that's, you know, you pick what your strengths are, and you know, generally most people will continue to work with their strength. I like all different styles, and I think almost that's my weakness because I can't decide. Metallic moulds on the feet. Oh, you're giving me some good ideas. Thank you, Melanie. So where it's drying and where it's still wet, it probably looks quite messy. But you know, as I said, this bit's done, but you can see how beautifully it dries. Metallic mold. Oh, I've read that one. Metallic molds on the feet. Yes, that sounds like a fab idea, actually. Blue on. Like I said, I'm running low on my blue, so I might just do that join and crack open another pot that isn't with me now. Let's do that section there. Okay. Look how messy my rag is. Esther, the piece of furniture talks to you. Yes, do you know what? I agree. And if it doesn't talk to me, I tend to prep it and push it to one corner until it starts talking to me. Because, I very much agree with you there. Need a bit more red. This probably is a bit too big to be a blending brush really, but it was the first one that I grabbed out of my paint stash. So I'm just bringing a little bit more, I've got a bit more fluff. Looks like I've got lots of little dog hairs, that's not a brush hair. Too much paint on that brush. You see how different it is when it's dried? It's incredible. So you're going to share what's going on side 2? No, not sharing that either. Kick-Ash Furniture, it is a room divider. It is. No, there's no sharing. No, there's nothing more than I've given away already coming out. I would just say it's probably going to be lighter and a bit more feminine, perhaps, let's say. Wendy, you like the angle of the paint? Yeah, I don't know why. I just didn't want to do it like a horizon. And I think probably once all the other stuff that's going on there is on, it'll lend itself to a more dramatic kind of shape, I think. I hope. Okay. What do we need? We need a bit of red. So I just want to keep that edge wet where I'm going to be doing my blend. So I'm just adding a bit more red on. And then we'll put the blue in. Hi Nicoletta. I've not missed anything else, have I? No, we've got everything else. I actually had a completely different project planned for you today. Well, I had no project planned, and then the plan changed. We weren't going away anymore. So I have a workshop desk that's been, it's a poor thing, and that was the plan. I was going to do that. I thought it's a lovely piece, but I just thought this is a bit more exciting, so you got this instead. How am I keeping everything paint free like your floor? I have it all over the... Yeah, do you know what? I'm just relatively... I mean, it goes on my jeans, but when I'm doing this kind of work, you don't need too much on your brush for a start. I'm just not that messy a painter, actually. It's when I'm doing stuff and I'm kind of fiddling with bits, and if I ever get any bits in my paint, and then I pick it out with my fingernail and I wipe it. That's why my jeans are covered, but I'm actually quite a clean painter. Try to get out of the way so you can see what I'm doing there. Cloudiness coming up there as well. That's quite sweet. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there now. Again, I'm not going to overwork it. I'm just going to get that blue finished at the bottom, and then we're probably there or thereabouts done for today. I think we've done quite well. We've covered quite a bit. Let's just get this section finished. That's not nearly dry enough for me to do the rest of it, so we'll leave that drying. Midnight Blue. You hear birds. Wendy, yes. Brush restorations, hi there. Yes, I've got my workshop doors open. This morning it was cold and it's rained, and now it's beautiful sunshine and the birds are tweeting away. Melanie, you like having, that's my intention, is to really show you different stuff each week. I really, you know, how many different styles that you can do, different types of finishes. As I said, you know, this paint is really good for clean finishes. I have shown, you know, using the roller gives a beautiful, there we go, look, I said I'm a really clean painter, look, blobbed. Deb, beautiful, thank you. It's cool, isn't it? As soon as I saw it, I got it on Marketplace, sent Hubs out, he goes and puts stuff in the van. He's allowed to go and collect stuff. That's about as far as we get. Although he did do a boo-boo last week, or the week before, and picked me up 2 chests of drawers that ended up being laminate. I wasn't overly happy. Never mind. But yes, my intention is to kind of give you some inspiration on the different things that you can achieve with this paint. Because it is fab. Wendy. Let's see what Wendy says. It's my favourite part favourite part about Paint Couture. They're darn versatile. Yes, it really is. You know, you can create texture, there's additives, you can use it, you've got crust, you've got the embossing medium, the metallics are just absolutely fantastic. I can't even, the metallics are so amazing. If you haven't tried any Paint Couture metallics, please get some, get one, any of them. You know, you've probably heard Stardust is a big favourite. I've just also tried Champagne, beautiful. And I love French Gold as well. French Gold's lovely. But also the great thing about doing this kind of project is that I've been able to, I wanted to show you the different stages, and it was great that we've got 3 sections that I can show you the stages on. So now this middle section is pretty much all dry. So you can see how it changes from coat 1 to your, that's coat 2, but it's wet. And it does sort of still look messy. It does look messy, but you just walk away and leave it. And once it's dried, it looks fab. It looks really, really cool. And again, as I said, there's going to be, you know, without trying to tease you too much, there is going to be a lot more going on this piece. I'm just going to fill over those little bits of white that are cheekily popping through. There. Okay. So I am going to stick some lemon peel up there. I can't help it, can't not. Sheer Bliss, Ruth, beautiful. Yes, I haven't used it on a piece. I've just done a sample stick of it. There's so many products, and I want to show you everything, and I want to show you all, and I want to show you something to do with everything. But there is just so many things to do. And, you know, having the right piece of furniture you have to put all these things together. So it just takes time. We have to think about what plan stuff out to show you. And but I'm really pleased I've been able to show you, you know, almost like the first coat, bit ugly. As with most paints have a first coat kind of ugliness and people panic. Second coat, you're good to go. Any other questions? Brushed restorations, I guess it's Midnight Blue. Yes. So we've got French Gold is your favourite too. I know, and there you go. There, I showed you how bright that blue is. This is how it dries. And this is wet, and this is wet. So you can really see the blue's like, it blows your mind because it looks like it's not the colour you want it to be. So you have to have faith. So yes, we used Midnight Blue on the bottom. Is that flaring a little bit on Instagram? Sorry guys. I don't know why. I think the camera's less sensitive on that one, or more sensitive. And the orange is the Firelight. Firelight? Yeah. I wanted to say Firefly then for some reason. Firelight for the orange and Russian Red for the red. So they're all really bold colours. Really, really bold. And ta-da! Okay guys, thank you ever so much for joining me. If you haven't already, I'd love you to pop over to Gracie's house and follow me, like the page. Instagram, the same thing. If you haven't followed Gracie's house yet, that would be awesome too. As I said, Facebook, you've got links up in the description. Instagram, once I post to IGTV, I will pop links in there for you to find retailers as well. Thank you for the lot of thank you, Wendy. Lovely. Everybody have a good day. Most of you watching are probably in the morning, so you have got a full day ahead of you. I'm about lunchtime, so I'm going to go and grab some lunch. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.